Okay, so today I wanted to talk about having bad days, and I had a couple bad days, I guess mainly just two, yesterday and the day before that. And when I say bad, I don't mean like anything actually really bad happened. It was more so I wasn't productive and I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. And right now, at least for what I'm trying to do in my life, it takes a mental toll when I'm not able to accomplish what I set out to accomplish just because there's a lot going on and I want to make progress with what I'm up to. But just to give some context, so we're doing a few challenges right now. One of them is a camera confidence challenge where we talk to the camera and we try to do it every day. We have not been really successful with doing that every single day. But another one is the music challenge. And for that one, we accomplished one music original so far. Today is day 6 of that challenge. And theoretically, if we stuck to what we wanted to do, it should be one new original every 3 days. We should have our second original done already today, but we haven't even started it yet. I still plan on at least starting it today, but yesterday I decided to take a break the day yesterday I decided to take a break after uploading it. Um, we said we were going to upload it on day 4, but we didn't. Instead, on day 4, we worked on it for a while, and after we finished it, we decided to just upload it the next day. But day 3 is what really, really hit me hard. Was It was a day where we focused quite a lot. We worked on it for about 2 hours and 20 minutes straight. And that was definitely not a good idea because when doing something new, especially if it's like creative and takes a lot of brain power, it it's not a good idea to do it for too long. Otherwise, you can burn out because it just takes a lot of effort and energy. And then also stacking on top of that was a hangout with some friends. It was good. I'm glad that I saw some friends and hung out with them, but it was like an extra thing that made me spend more energy, that made me even more tired for the next day to be like a day where I forced myself to work on the music stuff. That was day 4 and finished it, but it drained me. It drained me like so much to the point where I ended up just binging like anime yesterday and a little bit of today this morning. And for me, who has come off of doing that zero entertainment challenge for like 2 phases where it was like a total of like 65 successful days out of what, maybe like 70 of just not watching anything and being super productive and everything. And then after I visited Japan, I've basically stopped that. I basically failed at continuing it. And it's been hard to get back on ever since coming back from that and then also visiting like Seattle. And I've noticed that pattern in myself where like whenever I travel and then come back from traveling, that transition knocks me off course and it knocks me to a place where I don't like to be. I'm basically a version of myself I don't like. I end up just not feeling great and I also don't think as positively, I guess, and it makes me a lot slower. And that slowness has been sort of eating at me a little bit for the past 2 days, especially when I'm binging and I'm like not really in control of my own head sometimes. I'm just like, okay, I'm just doing this because it feels like all my energy is just sapped and I have no will to fight against it basically. And it's kind of surprising. It's like when you have the momentum of not doing it, it doesn't bother you as much and it's easier to just like rest. But like when you don't have that momentum and you're sort of in a place where you have less will already. Because during those 65 days I was successful with the zero entertainment stuff, it was like easier to keep up with it because I had that momentum. Despite the fact that I was doing a lot, I was like each day I was definitely putting my all into it. And I definitely had tired days as well. But because I had that momentum and that sort of like built up guard against like watching entertainment, which isn't like terrible, by the way. It's not like something I like am trying to condemn. It's just for me, again, I mentioned this in my video, at this stage in my life, I just want to be as productive as possible since like there's so many goals that I have and so many projects I want to finish. And the fact that I want to get back to Japan and stuff, and be there long term. It's just a lot that I want that I can't accomplish if I keep distracting myself in this stage of my life. So once again, not trying to say it's like a terrible thing or anything, but it is a distraction for me. So I am doing my best to try to get back on top of things, and I figured like talking to the camera about it is a good way to start again, since, you know, I feel more motivated when I do document the stuff that I do and document like my goals and my journey to my goals and stuff like that. So from here on, I'm really going to give it my all to get back on Zero Entertainment. Today is, I'm not sure, December 17th. I'm pretty darn sure it's December 17th because it is a Tuesday. And I will try to do 30 days again, just 30 straight days and of Zero Entertainment, and from there we can see what happens afterwards. But usually I just like that structure of 30 days because it's like, okay, it feels doable, it's not too long, and it gives me a break in between like phases. But I feel like I have to really have that initial push and energy. And usually it's the best when after I'm coming off of something like a binge, because it's not exactly a healthy method, but after a binge, it's just like you feel terrible. You feel like you've wasted a lot of time and you feel kind of like shit. So, like, had a bad day. So, it's kind of motivating when you feel that way to get back on top of things, like reverse it, like just do a complete 180, cut it off, and it's good. It's a good spark, even if it is kind of like getting to your lowest point. And you know, there's if you're at your lowest point, there's only up, right? That's one of the sayings, and it's true. So it's good to see that, no matter what I do from here, as long as I put in my all, I know that it will get better. So that's my sort of thoughts on the matter right now for that. So that should help a lot with alleviating the bad days, the 2 bad days, I guess. Again, it's not like terrible or anything, but it is eating at me, and it is something I really want to change. So that's something. As well as the camera confidence challenge, there's something I noticed recently or have been thinking about. It's like me with talking to the camera. I did start this because number one, I wanted to get better at talking to the camera, but also number two, uploading and feeling more confident with being consistent and stuff and being okay with mistakes, and removing the editing process as well is a nice thing. But number three, I didn't really mention this on day one that much. It's like giving myself the room to be imperfect. The first time I ever did like a vlog with I think the Sony ZV-E1, it was like at some hotel or something. I was talking about like perfectionism and stuff like that, and how like you want everything to be perfect. I'm thinking I want to try and be the opposite, like embrace imperfection, embrace the fact that I'm not quite as good as I want to be with talking to the camera. I do stumble on my words, I do make pauses and mistakes that make it harder to watch. But at the same time, like I want to be okay with that, because again, this second channel isn't meant for like getting a lot of views or whatever. It's just from myself, to express myself and to create the stuff that I want to create. And these are some of the videos I want to create, just talking to the camera and being honest with my thoughts and my journey and everything. Like, I do feel a little bit of shame about, you know, the fact that I was able to do 65 days of like Zero Entertainment stuff, and the fact that I'm having such a hard time getting back on it. It's like, a part of me thinks, was it just this one time thing? Was it like just those 65 days that I could do, and that's as far as I can go with it? Of course, that makes no sense. But, and a part of me is like, should I even mention it? Like, I feel like in my video, maybe I was a little overconfident. Maybe it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep going with this. But I stumbled and I fell, and I am now here where I'm trying to get back on. But I feel like it's important to still be honest and talk about it, because I think it's part of the journey. I think like expecting myself to be consistently on it forever is kind of hard. It's not reasonable, I guess. And to stumble and fall and to have failures to fail in some ways. It's part of the process. And I think that I shouldn't consider myself a failure. I think that it's important to realize that I will make these mistakes, but I'm only a failure if I decide that, I'm going to hide them. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to, be a hypocrite or like talk about how nothing ever happened. Like I've always been on it. I've always been on this Zero Entertainment Challenge. Like pretend, I guess that would make me consider myself a failure for sure. I would never do that just because I feel like it's so wrong. But another thing is staying down and not trying. Like that's one thing I was thinking about for the music thing is because I've stacked some videos. So like I scheduled videos to upload later, and I think there's a certain point. I think right now I could just stop like the video from uploading where it's day one of the challenge for my music stuff and then push to day one because I didn't mention the dates. Usually I mention the dates. Now I have dated it. It's December 17th and it's day 6 of the music challenge, which means I started on December 11th. And I didn't date it by accident, like I forgot to date it. Usually I ask Siri, like, but right now my phone is kind of being used, so I can't ask Siri for the date and showing it to the camera. I could probably ask my iPad somewhere, but either way, it doesn't matter. For this challenge, I'll do it for the next one. But I could have just paused it and scheduled it for later to make it seem like, I started the challenge later and I'm more consistent with it and stuff like that. There's like so many ways to go around like my failure and stuff like that. And I could just pause it, do the challenge next time, like maybe just don't even upload the video at all. There are so many things that I could do about me stumbling and falling, but I think this is the better way to handle it, is to just show that I am struggling but I am still gonna try. I'm still gonna try my best to get back on the music challenge. Even if I do like 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10, it's still better than 0. For the challenge, I'm supposed to do it for every 3 days, make it original. So for 30 days, that would be 10 originals, right? So even if I don't meet that goal, as long as I try for it and try my best for it, I think it's still worth doing the challenge and still continuing. And yeah, that's the point of a challenge. It's not supposed to be easy, and struggling is a part of it. And for the camera confidence thing, just to finish my thought, like I'm embracing imperfection. I'm embracing like the fact that this isn't composed the best or the best lighting or the best delivery that I can give. I'm accepting that and I'm saying like, okay, let's make more bad videos. Let's make more stuff to the point where it's okay to actually post these, because I want to get to that point where I'm okay with it. It's to desensitize me to making stuff and expressing myself sort of at the lowest minimum level or threshold that I'm okay with. Obviously, I still want some decent visual quality and decent audio quality. I'm not gonna make it like completely like bad on purpose. I've obviously worked with these things for a very long time and have experience with it, so I still want to try, but I don't want to give too much of my like energy and brain space worrying about whether or not I perform perfectly to the camera. I just want to be as natural as possible and give myself that room and permission to be as natural as possible. And that also means being okay with making mistakes and being okay with stumbling and looking bad on camera and all that stuff and not worrying about it. So that's a significant aspect of the camera confidence challenge that I think that I didn't really talk about too much as a goal in the beginning, because I just realized it today and I was just like, yeah, this is a big thing. It's like I keep debating whether or not I should actually film, because am I ready? Am I ready to film? Do I feel like I have the capacity or whatever? But I feel like that shouldn't matter. I should just be capable of slapping on this camera or this phone onto the tripod, and I guess also attaching this and that, which it doesn't take that long. I just press like 2 buttons and then just record myself and turn on some lights and record myself. So it is a bit longer than I am making it out to be. It takes at least 3 to 5 minutes to set everything up, which isn't that long, but it's definitely longer than me saying it, I guess. But yeah, that is a big thing, I feel. Just giving myself that permission to take long pauses like the one I just did and be okay with just uploading it and understanding that, yes, it's going to be harder to digest as a viewer, but it's still my expression and it's still like something I want to be okay with. That is pretty much it. That's the update right now. I'm going to try my best to continue with these challenges with the new thoughts in mind, and also just with the 30 days of Zero Entertainment once more. Like we are fully renewing that challenge, like officially from this point on. Like this video will be uploaded at a certain point. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.